All right, so we're going to begin with a common request, which is how to create a CSV file. CSV file is a comma separated value file. It's typically a series of data that is separated by commas. So if you take a look at our rows and our cells here, this data, this is the row, and that row is going to be separated by a comma. So it would be a comma here, a comma here, a comma here, and that would be one row in a, call it a text file, and that text file is typically used for a survey stakeout in a data collector or a controller, or used to import in to a CAD software package like AutoCAD Civil 3D or Trimble Business Center, and it basically uses, in this case, like we typically talk about, is point number, northing, easting, elevation, and description is a common file or common file format. What we're going to do is show you how to take a Microsoft Excel file, bring it in or open it up in Google Sheets, and export it out and create a CSV file. The reason we would do that is because when you look at this file we bring in, it has more information than we really need. So we want to kind of organize it and reformat it. So we're in Google Sheets already, and you can start with, being in a Google Sheet, or you can go and open up Google Sheets first. But when you get here, you have to go to File, and you can do either Import or Open. I like to start and go ahead and use Open. And here it's going to ask me to upload, right? So you want to be on the Upload section. If you're on my Drive, that's looking at your Google Drive, right? I want to upload this because my Excel spreadsheet was emailed to me and I downloaded it, and now it's on my computer, and I want to drag it in or upload it to this Google Sheets. So I'm just going to click on here to select the file, and I'm going to navigate out to where that Microsoft Excel file is. So you can see here that it says XSL. That is a Microsoft workbook or worksheet, and I can bring that in. So I'm going to click on that, and we're going to click Open. It's going to upload, and then it should open up a new tab. Now, if you don't get this on your original sheet, we'll take a look up here. It may have what's called a pop-up blocker. You want to enable that to tell it to, accept these pop-ups, and then you may have to go through and do open again to get this particular worksheet. Okay. But once you get this open, what we're going to do, you can see this is all the extra data. You can see it's got colors, it's got, formatting. We don't need any of that in a CSV, because a CSV file, all we're concerned about is the data. We also don't need the existing surface elevation or the rock elevation. We just want the depth. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to highlight that first cell, and I'm going to come down, hold my shift key down, and select the last cell that I want. So you can see it highlights it and selects it. Now I can Control C, so on your keyboard, Control C, and we're just going to copy it over to Sheet 2, where I will just go Control V, starting in cell A1, and you can see that it gives me this little window or command pop out down here, and I can say I want just the values. And now you can see it just creates those. Now I'll repeat that process. So this time I want to grab the northing and the lowest easting. So I'm grabbing cell C3 and grabbing cell D38. And I'm going to Control C, come over here, click in here, Control V, and now I can just click Paste Values. And you can see that it's overlapping. So we'll fix that in a minute. Let's go grab the other data. So let's grab the rock depth. So I'm going to select that, Control C, over to Sheet 2, and we'll do a Control V. Same thing, let's get rid of the values. And now I can double click here. I can double click here. So I'm putting my cursor between cells B and C, so it's over that line. And then if you double left click, it separates out and spaces it out to the width of the data that you have. And you can go into like this one, if you want the zeros, you can add the zeros. This one here, I can add one more zero. So if you want it to format it that way, that really doesn't matter. It just sometimes makes it easier to see and cleans it up. So now that we have this information, what we can do is export it out. It's all cleaned up. It's formatted the way we want. So now what we can do is come in and we can we can come over here. We want to go to cell. It doesn't really matter what cell you're on, but I always pick like cell A1. And I go to file and we can go to download, and we're going to download a comma separated value file. So I'm going to click on that, and you'll notice it's on sheet 2, and it comes down here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to show in folder, because it's going to try to open it with Microsoft Excel, which is fine. But again, we're talking with Google here. We don't need to open it in Excel. And you can see here now when I select on it, it's displaying the values over here in a comma separated file. If you right click and say open with, select notepad, it'll open up in a notepad. And this is always your check. If you can open up a notepad and it's in the file format or in the format that you want, you know you're good, because this is what that program that you're importing it in this case, again, whether it's Business Center, Civil 3D, MicroStation, you name it, it's in the file format that we need it in, right? It's got the B1, comma, northing, comma, easting, comma, and the depth of, in this case, the depth of rock. So we're good to go. So now we have a CSV file. So because Google is a cloud-based program, there is no need to save this. It's automatically saved, but you can always share it out. And I like to do this, that way I got my original data. I'm not manipulating the old information or the original information. It's always still there. I just did a copy and paste, and now I've got it, it in a different format. But that's the difference between working with these sheets, is I can stay in one spreadsheet, and I have different sheets within this spreadsheet that I can manipulate the data on.